Imagine a company that knows where the enemy is before the enemy moves, that knew before most of the public did which neighborhoods in New Orleans were most likely to produce the next violent crime, that helped track Osama bin Laden, that built the data infrastructure used to deport undocumented immigrants at industrial scale, that is now embedded inside the U.S. Army, the NHS, the CIA, the FBI, ICE, and dozens of governments around the world. Now imagine that company just went public on the New York Stock Exchange, and retail investors, everyday people, can own a piece of it. This is Palantir, and it might be the most powerful company most people still don't fully understand. Let's start at the beginning. It's 2003. The United States is still processing the wreckage of September 11th. Intelligence agencies had, famously, all the right data. They just couldn't connect it. Different agencies used different systems. Information sat in silos. The left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing. Peter Thiel, fresh off selling PayPal to eBay for $1.5 billion, decides this is a problem worth solving. He co-founds Palantir, named, if you're wondering, after the seeing stones in Lord of the Rings, the ones that let you see across great distances. The metaphor is intentional, maybe a little on the nose. The company builds software that does one thing extraordinarily well. It takes enormous, messy, incompatible datasets from different agencies in different formats, speaking different technical languages, and it makes them talk to each other. It creates a single picture out of thousands of fragments. The CIA became an early investor. The U.S. Special Operations Command became a client. And for years, Palantir operated almost entirely in the shadows, growing not through marketing or sales pitches, but through classified contracts with classified customers doing classified things. Now here is where it gets interesting. Most software companies grow by scaling customers. You build a product, you sell it to 1,000 companies, you run ads, volume is the game. Palantir does the opposite. They call their approach forward deployment. Instead of selling software and walking away, they send their own engineers, they call them deployment strategists, directly into client organizations. These engineers live inside the client. They learn the client's data, the client's workflows, the client's problems. They build the solution on site for months, sometimes years. It is, by almost any measure, an insanely expensive way to acquire customers. But it produces something most tech companies never achieve: clients who genuinely cannot leave. When Palantir's software becomes the nervous system of how a government agency operates, ripping it out isn't a business decision. It's surgery without anesthesia. This is by design. By 2020, Palantir goes public, and the story it tells Wall Street is compelling. They have two main products: Gotham, the government-facing platform used for defense and intelligence operations, and Foundry, the commercial platform sold to private sector companies, hospitals, manufacturers, financial firms. Revenue at IPO around $742 million annually, growing at roughly 25% per year. The stock pops, retail investors pile in, and then reality arrives. Because here is the uncomfortable math. Palantir, despite years of contracts with the most powerful governments on Earth, had never turned a consistent profit, not once in its first 17 years as a company. The forward deployment model that makes clients sticky also makes acquiring new customers brutally expensive. You can't scale a business where every new customer requires months of on-site engineers, at least not quickly. By 2022, the stock had fallen more than 80% from its peak. Analysts who had praised the company's growth story quietly updated their spreadsheets. And yet, something shifts in 2023.
Palantir releases a new product called AIP, Artificial Intelligence Platform. It's designed to let enterprise clients deploy large language models on top of their own private data, securely, without sending sensitive information to OpenAI or Google. For the first time, Palantir has a product that sells itself, that can be demonstrated in a single afternoon, that doesn't require months of embedded engineers before a client sees value. They start holding AIP boot camps, intensive 2 to 5 day sessions where potential clients bring their actual data and actually use the product. Conversion rates are described by Palantir's own CEO, Alex Karp, as unlike anything the company has ever seen. Commercial revenue starts accelerating. Quarterly profits appear, real ones, not adjusted for everything ones. The stock starts climbing again. By late 2024, Palantir joined the S&P 500. The stock had risen more than 300% in a single year. It became one of the best-performing stocks in the entire index. So, what is Palantir really? It is, on one level, a data integration company that became an AI company at exactly the right moment. On another level, it is a deeply ideological organization. Its CEO writes long philosophical essays. It has turned down contracts it found morally questionable and accepted contracts many people find morally alarming. It believes openly that Western liberal democracies need a decisive technological edge over their adversaries, and that Palantir exists to provide it. Whether you find that reassuring or unsettling probably depends on who you think is making the decisions about what gets built and who gets to use it and what counts as an adversary. The seeing stones in Tolkien's stories, by the way, were not neutral tools. They showed the truth, but they could be manipulated, and staring into them for too long had a way of corrupting the people who used them. Whether that's a parable or just a coincidence is a question Palantir probably hopes you don't spend too much time thinking about.